Hello, everyone, and Merry Christmas. Did you ever wonder how Santa gained intel for his naughty and nice list? How about if someone wanted to disrupt Santa's flight? Who would protect Santa? The answer is the elite agents of the North Pole Intelligence Agency, and this is the story when Will met one of their agents. Now let's get to the story. The Elf Agent by Doc LaNue. The Secret Elf Agent by Doc LaNue. Will and Stanley insist this story is true. I say it couldn't have happened as they describe it. But I will admit, strange things do happen in Cedar Grove. Hunting is big in this community, and Stanley loves it. He also does not like Christmas. You can hear him complain in his hardware shop about kids getting wonderful new presents from Santa. He even told little Ralphie, "You'll shoot your eye out," whenever he talked about his Christmas wishes. Stanley decided he would combine his favorite hobby with his disdain for Christmas. Plus, Stanley really needed a new nightlight. On Christmas Eve, he made up his mind. He was going reindeer hunting. And not just any reindeer, he wanted the one with the glowing red nose. Bragging rights and all. That evening, Stanley sneaked onto his neighbor's roof and set up a hunting blind by the chimney. There, he waited for Santa and his reindeer. Meanwhile, on the same Christmas Eve, Will was wandering through town, admiring the Christmas lights and enjoying some special adult beverages in his sippy cup. He was high in spirits, wishing everyone he saw a Merry Christmas, even Mason Glitterman. Deciding to cut through the park on his way to my bar, Will stumbled into an encounter he'd never forget. As he entered the darkest part of the park, Will tripped over what he thought was a child sitting alone in the shadows. Upon closer inspection, he realized this child was wearing a form-fitting red suit with green trim, fur-lined sleigh boots, and a matching fur-lined cap with a pom-pom on top. The child also had a earpiece attached to his hat and to his pointed ears. A gleaming gold badge on the suit caught Will's attention. The badge featured a star and a reindeer emblem in the center, inscribed with the words North Pole Intelligence Agency above the emblem and Elite Agent below. Will stared in shock. This wasn't a child. This was an elf. An elf from the North Pole, who apparently worked for some kind of an intelligence agency. The elf leaped into Will's chest, drew a candy cane from a holster, and pointed at him. "Don't move. I'm a 4th degree black belt in elf judo. I can take down men twice your size," the elf barked in a immensely high-pitched voice. Will, utterly bewildered, decided to comply. "What do you want from me?" The elf narrowed his eyes and studied Will for a moment. I'm looking for Stanley, he finally said. Stanley's not here, Will stammered. I think he's home for Christmas. Do you know where he lives? Yeah, he's about 30 minutes out of town. We don't have time to drive. You'll ride with me on my polar bear. Polar bears aren't faster than cars. How is that going to work? The elf smirked. I'm an NPIA agent. Of course it's a magical polar bear. Will, thoroughly confused, shrugged. Fine. What's the NPIA? North Pole Intelligence Agency. The elf replied. I'm elite agent Robbie. Our analysts manage the naughty and nice list, but I'm in operations. Per the treaty between the United States and the North Pole signed in 1824, our agency is tasked with identifying and neutralizing threats to Santa and his reindeer on Christmas Eve. Stanley is a threat? Yes, Robbie said grimly. He wants to shoot Rudolph for his glowing nose. Moments later, a massive polar bear ran into view. It was white as snow, well fed, and equipped with a saddle rigged for both an elf and a human. Candy cane rockets were mounted on either side. Hop on, Robbie ordered. We've got to move. Will climbed aboard, pointing Robbie in the direction of Stanley's house. As the polar bear ran, they began to rise into the air. Soon they were soaring above Cedar Grove. Robbie pressed a button on his hat, lowering a visor over his eyes. The pom-pom on his cap began spinning, glowing with tiny red and green lights. Robbie pointed to a house below. There! He set up a hunting blind on little Timmy's roof. Santa will be here any minute. I'll handle this. With cat-like reflexes, Robbie leaped from the saddle and landed on Timmy's roof. Stanley crouched by the chimney, turned in surprise. The two locked eyes. Robbie's visor gleaming in the moonlight. Stanley, Robbie declared. Under the North Pole Treaty of 1824, you are officially naughty. Surrender now or I will be forced to take action. Stanley laughed. What are you going to do? You're smaller than little Timmy. Without a word, Robbie hurled a candy cane at Stanley's rifle. The candy cane lodged itself in the barrel, shattering inside and rendering the gun useless. Go home, Stanley, Robbie said firmly. You're not shooting any reindeer tonight. Defeated, Stanley climbed down the roof and trudged back to his house. He later confessed to me that he'll never try hunting a reindeer on Christmas Eve night again. The polar bear landed on Timmy's roof, and Robbie climbed back onto the saddle. Pressing the button on his hat, he raised the visor and stopped the pom-pom spinning. We've got to go. Santa's landing soon. I'll take you back to the park. Then I have to deal with a Terry in Mississippi. He's been telling people that the police said Santa will be arrested if he delivers gifts to his town. I need to teach him why lying is bad. Will glanced back at Timmy's roof and saw Santa preparing to deliver presents. Will and Stanley swear this happened last Christmas Eve. I doubt they planned to spread such a tall tale, but weird things do happen in Cedar Grove. Would you like another drink? No, replied the small customer with pointed ears. I must get to work. Christmas Eve is my busiest night. The little figure hopped off his stool, headed to the front door, and moments later, I saw a polar bear flying off into the night. The end.
Thank you for watching Doc Lanew's Storytime. If you have stories, poems, or original music you'd like to share, please email it to j.lanew.stories@gmail.com. You can click the icon on the left to the previous episode. You can click on the icon to the right to subscribe to my channel. Also, do not forget to hit the like button and share with your friends. Until next time, take care of yourself.